So I am at the lovely, wonderful Sainsbury's picking up some baking ingredients. So yeah, like I said, I'm at Sainsbury's. I've got my coffee that says "Life Short, Stay Awake" from my lovely sisters from Christmas. It's a lovely little mug. And I'm going to pick up some baking ingredients for a baking video, which this currently is. And you know what it is if you've seen the title. So I'm going to try and make wagon wheels following the first technical bake of the Bake Off for 2018. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, let's have some fun. Ruby! Ruby, Ruby, Roo! Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Is Mum making fun of me?
Funny, because that's
Is
what I used to do when I was a little girl.
Is Mum making fun of me? So I'm back from the supermarket, and these are all the ingredients I've got to make the biscuits. We have got 150 grams of self-raising flour, 150 grams of plain flour, 170 grams of caster sugar, 185 grams of salted butter, 1 egg and some vanilla extract. So there's not actually a recipe for this recipe yet, which I'm not surprised. So this recipe for the biscuits is from Sorted Food. And I'm going to start by putting this, which is one of the flours, in with the other flour, and then the caster sugar. And then it needs softened butter, and I've left this out for about half an hour, but I'm going to just whiz it in the microwave at first because it's not quite soft enough yet. Right. So that probably only needed 10 seconds in the microwave. I'm going to add a little bit to replace a bit I lost. And then I'm going to make it into like breadcrumby type consistency. So I think it might be where the butter was a little bit too melted to begin with. I've got quite wet breadcrumbs kind of mixture. It feels like a really good crumble topping. And now I need to add this egg, but this is a large egg, so comparison, and I'm not sure I'm going to need all of it, so I'm going to whisk it up in a cup and tip in as and when I need it to make a dough. So I've added the egg and the vanilla extract, but it seems a little bit too wet, so I'm going to add some more plain flour to compensate. Much better consistency, I think it's what I'm going to go with. According to the recipe, these spread quite a bit, so I am going to cut them out with egg cups, so they're quite small little circles and space them quite far apart. Hopefully get quite a nice even shape at the end, but you know. You alright? There's the printer.
It's not as simple as that is now, Stella, and you know that.
in for 10 minutes. Controversially, you know what I mean. I'm going to re-roll my dough because there is so much here and I'm not in the bake-off. So what we've discovered so far is they don't take 10 minutes to cook, they take 20, and they don't spread as much as we thought. That maybe because I added the extra flour. So I'm going to do batches every 10 minutes into the oven until they're all done, and while I'm doing that I'm going to make some of the filling. So in this pan I have 110 grams of sugar, and to that I'm adding 225 grams of raspberries, which look a bit mushy. They all looked a bit like that in the shop, but doesn't matter for what I'm using this for. Anyway, I'm sort of making this recipe up, but let's just see how it goes. Once it started boiling quite rapidly, I turned it down to 120, just so I can control it a little bit more. And if it starts popping, I'll stick the lid on or turn it down to 100. The raspberry jam is done, and I'm going to sieve it and get all those seeds out. So the raspberry jam is made. Yes, I know there are a few seeds in there, but not enough for me to worry about sieving it again. And if anyone complains, I know it's not a sieve, I know it's a rice strainer, but I just thought an actual sieve is going to be too time consuming. All the cookies are out. I reckon I've got 43 if my math is right, although we may just count this one because it's a little bit ugly. I've had a little think about it, and I reckon it's easiest to sandwich with the tray side in like this, so the tray side in between, because it's fatter, they'll kind of meet nicer together. And now what I'm going to do is pick half of them to chocolate their bottoms, or in fact chocolate their tops. No wonder Great British Bake Off has so many innuendos. So like I said, for the middles I'm not really using a recipe. However, when I watched it last night and rewatched it this morning, it looked like they had a mixture of dark and milk chocolate, and more dark than milk. So I've bought 400 grams of dark chocolate and 100 grams of milk chocolate, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this up. So I'm just going to do like 2 of the dark and 1 of the milk to begin with and see if that's enough. If not, I'll put the other 3 bars in. And I'm going to do it over a bambourine because I think I can keep it melted for longer without having to remelt it. It'll kind of be like continuously melting. Here we have 21 biscuits laid out for chocolating, and the chocolate slowly melting. of the little biscuits covered in chocolate. Well, the tops are anyway. You may have seen that I was originally going to do it with teaspoons, but found it was just putting too much layers of chocolate on and too hard to get down the side, so I started doing the dipping method, which worked quite well, and I could scrape off the excess before putting them down. I have no idea how long these are going to take to chill, and I'm not going to put them in the fridge because I ain't got room, so this could take a while. It's been about 15-20 minutes and they're still quite far off drying, and I don't really have time to wait and let them dry. So I'm going to flip them over onto the silicone, so hopefully they will kind of dry onto that and peel off and have a nice bottom. And then I'm going to start filling them anyway, and then I can coat them all together. Right, let's get to it. All jammed, and now what I'm going to do is with the ones over here, fill them with marshmallow. Now, you might have seen I didn't make any marshmallow. No, I did not. We have marshmallow. If you want to see me make marshmallow, I've made it before and I will link to that video. But this seemed like it just worked easier and quicker. Save me time. I don't have a standing mixer which would make Swiss meringue easy enough anyway. So, and this is vegetarian, so my little sister can have it. Now we're going to dollop these onto these. Try to match size as best we can. Like so. Now I'm going to pour / spoon some chocolate over the top and hope it sets at some point. Well, this is a bit of a fail. Turns out that flump or fluff or whatever you want to call it it's a little bit like custard, and when you stop moving it, it melts. And it also retards chocolate, so even when I covered it in chocolate, it didn't like stick to it. Maybe if you're going to use this method, use a lot less flumps than I did, or if you're not trying to make them vegetarian, you could slice up jumbo marshmallow and put those in between. That would probably work a lot easier. These are nowhere near set yet, so I'm going to leave them to set. They kind of look a little bit like type 5 poos with some kind of white stuff running through it. If I was at work right now, I'd be very concerned about that. So I've just come outside because my mum's now inside the kitchen making dinner. Criminal, I know, how dare she make dinner. But here we go. This is probably the best looking thing out of all of them. Definitely not a wagon wheel. These sort of are on the outside, but I'm going to give it a go. It's also very messy. My hands are very sticky right now. Somehow, in the inside, there is no marshmallow. There's marshmallow everywhere, but inside. But it tastes good. The biscuits are nice. The jam's really good. The chocolate's quite nice, if not 100% set. It's just got no marshmallow in the middle, which kind of makes the wagon wheel a wagon wheel.